Hi everyone, this is Migs from Sneaks and Ball PH, and here we have an unboxing and quick look on the brand new Nike PG4. Nike PG4 is the successor to the highly successful Nike PG3. The Nike PG3 was actually one of the best performance basketball shoes of last year. Not only that, but the Nike PG3 also just retailed for $110 or 5,795 pesos, meaning that it was just such a very good bang for your buck option. With the PG3 being such a bang for your buck option, as well as one of the best performance basketball shoes, the PG4 can hopefully live up to that as well. So starting off with the box, the Nike PG4 comes in a pretty simple black box with the Nike logo here on the front, the PG logo here on the top. Then you also have your sizing and colorway information here on the side, and on the other side you have Paul George 4. You also have quite a bit of texture here on the box with some air bubbles that are kind of deposit here, and it's kind of an indication of the Air Max unit found in the PG4s. Then without waiting any longer, let's get these out of the box. So we put this to the side, flip it open, and you have this plain paper. Then inside you have more of that design with the sort of air bubble looking things. And then here you have the Nike PG4. Then let's take out the other shoe, and as you can see, it does have that two-tone look, which I'll get into later. Just hide the paper and lay it softly down. Here you have it. This is the new Nike PG4 in the black and white colorway. Now for some of the key features on the Nike PG4, starting with what people are really the most curious about, which is the brand new cushion. What Nike used in the PG4 is what they're calling an Air Strobel unit, which is essentially an Air Max unit acting as the strobel board of the shoe. This is the first time that Nike used an Air unit as the strobel board of the shoe. However, it is pretty similar to the way the KD12s and KD13s were constructed. The Nike KD12 and KD13 both used a zoom strobel unit, which is not that much different in terms of implementation to the PG4. The only difference, however, is how they feel. So with the KD12 and KD13, it does give you a really bouncy feel with the zoom unit, but the PG4, given its Air Strobel unit, is pretty much a very soft and smooth ride. Truth be told, even though I really like zoom, especially full-length zoom, this full-length Air setup used as the strobel unit here in the PG4 is something I really do enjoy because it is a very soft and plush ride. Then you might be asking what exactly a strobel board is. Well, a strobel board is the thing in between the upper of the shoe, so this part, and the midsole of the shoe. It is where they are stitched or glued together, and before it would just be this sort of somewhat dense canvasy material. However, what Nike did in the PG4s as well as the KD12 and KD13 was put an air unit or a zoom unit in between. What this does is it makes you feel the air cushion even more than if it was in the midsole. I did use basketball shoes with air units before, however they were either encased within a midsole or they had pillars as an exposed air unit. The downside to those setups were they did seem kind of firm and they didn't feel anywhere near as soft as the PG4s do. So simply from a try-on perspective, I really love the cushion on the PG4s and I really can't wait to take these for a spin on the court. Underneath the Air Strobel unit, you do have a pretty thick and chunky looking Phylon midsole. The concern of some people might be the lack of court feel or how high you feel off the ground. However, I don't think it's all that bad. The only thing is when you compare it to the PG3, PG2, and PG1, who had pretty low to the ground cushion setups with 4-foot zoom and the thin pylon midsole, this would feel a little bit more chunky. Then for the traction on the PG4, this is actually one of the few places that the PG4 and PG3 are identical, and this is because it still uses that circular pattern on the outsole. The traction on the PG3 worked very well, so I hope that the PG4's traction does the same. This colorway of the PG4 that I got does feature XDR rubber, and I do hope that it increases the durability because the knobs do feel a little bit soft. Then for the upper on the PG4, from the outside it looks like it's predominantly made of mesh, So on the lateral side, you do have a quite fine mesh, and then on the medial side, you have a more airy and a more coarse mesh. However, as you can see, the mesh you find on the shoe is basically just the shroud of the shoe. And when you unzip this zipper, you do see that the body is pretty much constructed of a neoprene. This neoprene that serves as pretty much the inside and structure of the shoe is pretty thick and pretty padded. This does make it feel very comfortable. However, this whole neoprene with a shroud design kinda also makes it feel very hot. However, I can't confirm this since I haven't really gotten to play with these extensively given the current situation, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. Then the only other materials present would be some TPU here on the lateral side, as well as some synthetic here on the heel. So just from an initial thought standpoint, the upper was really comfortable when you got into the shoe. And the only reason I say this is because the PG4 does have that one booty upper that a lot of shoes have nowadays. However, I don't really know what Nike was thinking because it is already a one booty upper, but everything is stitched together. There is no give, there is no flexibility, there is no stretch with this one booty upper, so it's insanely hard to get your foot inside. And just if you're curious, I'll be showing you exactly how long and painstaking it is to get your foot in the shoe. So there, as you can see, it was really difficult and it took quite a while for me to get the shoe in. And this is actually one of the only shoes I know that can actually make me sweat from putting them on. And this is also kind of strange because they do fit true to size in my opinion. And speaking of sizing, it does fit true to size in my opinion. However, it is a touch bit short and it is a little bit tight. And then you also have that annoyance of not being able to get your foot into the shoe easily. So if you don't like a really snug fit, and if you also don't have the time or the energy to constantly fight with your shoe when you're trying to put it on, I think I'd have to recommend going up half a size. However, if you do go through to size, it is, in my opinion, a perfect 1-to-1 fit. Then for wide footers, I'd recommend going at least half a size up, or maybe even a full size. However, it would be best if you could try it on, but given the current conditions, I'm not sure if you could do that, so you might just take my word for it. Then for the way the PG4 looks, I initially really wasn't feeling this whole zipper idea. I thought we were done with the zipper thing, but you know, as they say in fashion, things do come around, so this is an example of it, I guess. Although the zipper does look well made, and even if you try running or like playing basketball, it will not go down unless you pull on it. However, the shroud and the zipper do feel a little bit overkill because you do have a pretty standard lacing structure underneath the whole shoe, with these nylon cables that you can see peeking out on the medial side. Another thing that I find weird about the PG4 is that even though it does have this shroud, it does have two lace holes here at the top, which means that in theory you could lace your laces through them and then you could tie it on the outside, which I think is a pretty weird look. And then you also have people like Paul George himself who play with the shoe with the shroud down. And for me, I mean, I can see some people that like it, but honestly, I'd much rather have it all zipped up like this and looking neat. And I did try running while this was unzipped, and this would always just flap around, and I could like literally feel the zipper moving around, and that would just be very annoying. So for me, the best way to wear these is just properly zipped up and the laces tucked underneath. Then of course, this is the black and white colorway. So you do have white predominantly on the finer mesh, and then you have on the more coarse mesh a black color. You also have black here on the synthetic on the heel. You have a white and black heel tab. You also have another pull tab, although these pull tabs really don't do anything because it's impossible to get the shoe on quickly. Then you also have a black plastic piece here saying Nike Air, and then you also have this bubble design with a little bit of gray speckle here on the foam midsole. Then you also have a little bit of gray here on the outer portion of the outsole. However, in the middle it does go back to white. You also have this speckle pattern here on the TPU piece with white speckle on a black background. Also have a black Nike swoosh here on the lateral side, and then on the medial side you have a smaller white swoosh. Then for the other smaller details, you do have the Roman numeral 4 written here at the back near the edge of the outsole. Then on the front edge of the outsole, you do have Young 13, which is kind of the Paul George thing with his favorite number, 13. You also have Paul George's signature here on the synthetic portion of the heel. Then you also have a couple of PG logos. So you have a PG logo here on the base of the tongue. Then here underneath the shroud, you have another PG logo here on this plastic piece on the tongue. Then lastly, just a few things you need to know. So just to reiterate, I do feel like they do fit true to size to me. However, if you don't like a really snug one-to-one fit, and if you don't like the hassle of trying to shove your foot inside the shoe, I'd recommend you go up half a size. And for wide footers, you should at least go up half a size or a full size. Then another good thing about the PG4 is that it did not increase in price. So it's still at 5,795 pesos or $110 US, which is the same as the Nike PG3. And then finally, I know that all of us are at home, or at least doing our best to stay at home at all times, which we should. So you can get these online at the Titan website, or the Titan app, or even the Nike website. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to Jed who requested for this video. So given the situation, I can't give a full performance review. However, I can do an unboxing and this quick look. So there you have it, that was my unboxing and quick look on the Nike PG4. If you liked the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. And if you have any comments, suggestions, or requests for any new reviews or any new content, please make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Then if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe and click that bell icon to be updated for any of the new videos. So with that being said, it would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.